The 2022 Stanley Cup Finals are set with the Colorado Avalanche taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning to determine this year's champion. And obviously, these are two of the best teams in the league going at it with a ton of talent on both sides. Should be a great series and a lot of fun to watch. We're going to give it a full preview right now. Hey everybody, so the Stanley Cup Finals are now upon us, which is a little bit bittersweet because it means that hockey season is almost over, but we get to close it out with a fantastic matchup to determine this year's Stanley Cup winner. Should be an awesome series between the Colorado Avalanche and Tampa Bay Lightning. Obviously, Tampa Bay is looking for their third Stanley Cup in a row. They've been a team that's been in it the last couple of years and so good in the playoffs. And Colorado is the team that finally got over that hump this year. They've been a great regular season team the past couple of years, but they hadn't been able to get over that playoff hump until this year, where now they find themselves in the finals with a legitimate shot of taking home the trophy. And it's two excellent hockey teams with some incredibly talented star players on both sides, some incredibly good depth players on both sides, and a series that I think is going to be a whole lot of fun to watch. So I am excited for these final few games and to see who takes home the cup this year. We're going to give it a preview right now, take a look at both of the sides of the matchup, and talk a little bit about what we can expect here in the 2022 finals. But let's start taking a look at the Colorado Avalanche. Obviously, 56-win season. They won the Central Division and the Western Conference. They're a 1 seed for a reason. And in the two matchups against Tampa Bay in the regular season, they won both of them. They went 2-0-0 versus the Lightning. Obviously, not a big sample size there because they're from different conferences. They don't play a lot. And also, regular season wins really doesn't mean anything when it comes to postseason, but it's just something to look at there where the Avalanche have been able to beat Tampa Bay. And they're coming off a series sweep over the Edmonton Oilers where they just swept them right out in 4 straight in the Western Conference Finals. And that was a little bit of a surprise to me. I did expect Colorado to win that series, but I didn't expect it to be as one-sided as it was and a complete sweep like it was. So Avalanche coming in strong, having won, beating Edmonton like that in 4 straight. However, they also have had now a very long layoff as the Tampa series went 6 games. So they've been kind of waiting for a while, and we'll see how that affects them at the start of these finals. If that has any lingering effects of them being a little bit rusty from not having played in a while. But so far in the playoffs, their statistics in Colorado are absolutely off the charts. And almost everything except penalty kill, which is struggling a little bit. But everything else, they've been unbelievable. They are the highest scoring team in the playoffs this year. 4.64 goals for per game. Scoring over 4.5 goals a game in the postseason. That's going to be a big test to try and stop if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, luckily, the Lightning have the best goaltender, arguably, in Andrei Vasilevsky, and also one of the better defensive teams that we have left in the playoffs. But man, it is going to be a big-time clash between Colorado's offense and Tampa Bay's defense and goaltending. Colorado is also pretty good at keeping the puck out of their net, better than I think they get credit for because their offense gets so much of the spotlight because of the ridiculous talent that they have and the amount that they're scoring in the playoffs. But they're only giving up 2.86 goals against per game in the postseason, which is 3rd best among playoff teams. So not only are they scoring a lot of goals, but they're also, for the most part, keeping the puck out of their net. Their power play has been unreal in the postseason. 31.1% on the power play, which is 2nd best, only behind the New York Rangers and among the playoff teams this year. And obviously, anytime you're operating above 30% on the power play, that is just an insanely good number. And it really forces the other team to think about it and make sure that they stay disciplined and not take penalties. Because if they do, Colorado is going to make Tampa Bay pay. The one area that's kind of been an issue for Colorado is the penalty kill. Only 75.7% on the PK in the in the postseason. They were a little under 80% in the regular season. But that's kind of been the only area that stood out, as the numbers statistically aren't great. It's 10th best among the 16 playoff teams this year. And that may be an area of vulnerability. If Colorado is not disciplined and takes penalties, then they might have a little bit of trouble killing them off, especially against a team with a power play that's as good as the Lightning and the talent on the ice that the Lightning have. So you definitely don't want to be taking penalties. Really, if you're either of these teams, staying disciplined is going to be important, because Colorado's power play is so good, it's going to make Tampa Bay pay no matter how good their PK is. And on the flip side, Colorado's penalty kill isn't all that great, so Tampa's got a power play that can make them pay if they get in penalty trouble. So staying disciplined is definitely going to be an important part of this series. Flipping over to the other side of things with the Lightning, obviously 51 wins in the regular season. They finished third in the Atlantic Division. They were a 3 seed going in, and they've made it all the way to the finals. And they're 0-1-1 against Colorado in the regular season, but again, that's a very small sample size. And they're coming off a 6-game series win, 4-2 over the New York Rangers. It was a very hard-fought series. One of my favorite series of the playoffs, honestly. But Tampa, with their experience and just knowing how to get things done in those situations and all the playoff success that they've had, was able to pull it out. And, they're playing really well. Definitely a different style of hockey than Colorado. Colorado's been a very high-flying offensive team that scored a lot of goals. Tampa Bay in the Eastern Conference and over the Western Conference in general has been a lot tighter, been a lot more defensive-minded, lockdown defensively. They're lower scoring games in the East rather than how the West is played in these playoffs. So it's going to be a pretty interesting clash of styles, where you have the high-flying Western team in Colorado against the lockdown defense of the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's going to be fun to see which style wins out. And obviously goaltending will be massively important as well. But Tampa's only scored 3.06 goals for per game, which is 8th best among playoff teams, so right in the middle there of the 16 playoff teams. Yet here they are in the finals, scoring just barely over 3 goals a game. That's Eastern Conference lockdown defense hockey right there, whereas out in the West, you've got Colorado scoring over 4.5 goals a game. But where, Tampa's really shined is keeping the puck out of their net. 2.41 goals against per game in the postseason this year. 2nd best among playoff teams in the NHL. And obviously giving up less than 2.5 goals a game. An incredibly good number there for the Lightning. Power play's been okay. 22.6% on the power play. Again, mid-pack, 8th best of the 16 playoff teams. And the penalty kill's been pretty good, 82.5% on the PK, which is 5th in the NHL. But obviously, when you're facing a team with a power play that Colorado has, you still don't want to have to rely on that penalty kill, and you don't want to be taking any unnecessary penalties. So, all in all, looking at this matchup here, obviously, statistically, a lot of it, especially offensively, favors Colorado, but again, the West, and especially in the playoffs this year, has been a very different style of hockey than what we've seen in the East. So it's really going to be a clash of two different styles here, and one of them is going to win out and one of them isn't. I would say Tampa definitely has the edge defensively, certainly has the edge in goal. I mean, Andrei Vasilevsky, I think, has the edge over pretty much anybody. So Tampa, as far as keeping the puck out of their net, I definitely think they're better at that. And then Colorado definitely has the offensive edge. Not that Tampa can't score and doesn't have some incredibly talented players, because Stamkos, Kucherov, Point coming back, hopefully, for these finals. Obviously there's some incredible talent on the Tampa Bay Lightning, but they're scoring a little over 3 goals a game in the playoffs, whereas Colorado's scoring 4.5 plus. So, again, advantage Colorado there as far as offense goes, but it's going to be a really fun series. I can't wait to see these two teams duke it out. I mean, they're obviously two of the best teams in the league. They wouldn't be here if they weren't. And I think the clash of styles is going to be really interesting as well. and to see who can kind of get their game going. Does Colorado, can they make it a run and gun offensive game, or does Tampa Bay's lockdown defense muddy things up and really kind of turn it into that style of game where it's going to be lower scoring and more about just converting on a few opportunities that you do get. I'm super interested to see how that goes. So I can't wait for this series to start. As far as a prediction goes, I predicted Colorado to win the Stanley Cup back before the playoffs started. And here they are in the finals. So I have, as much as I love this Tampa team, and I'm very impressed with this Tampa team to get back to the finals for the third straight year, I have no reason to change my pick or deviate from the Avalanche, because I picked them back at the beginning, and here they are making it all the way to the finals. So I'm going to stick with the Colorado Avalanche. I'm going to say Avs in 7. I think this will be a very long, very hard-fought series. I think there'll be some higher-scoring games that the Avalanche probably win. I think there'll also be some games that are more defensive, and the Lightning probably win those. And I think this is going to be a series that goes back and forth right down to the end. 7-gamer, going to go all the way. But at the end, I'm going to stick with my original pick and take the Avalanche in this one. And I think it's going to be a great finals, a lot of fun to watch, an awesome matchup. And I cannot wait to get the puck drop on Wednesday night. So that is my preview of the Stanley Cup Finals this year between the Colorado Avalanche and Tampa Bay Lightning. Thank you guys so much for watching. And with that, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, links to our merchandise store, memberships, and donations are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you all soon.